outside of just creating videos and putting content out there, this channel is doing a lot of things in the background that you guys aren't able to see until everything kind of comes to fruition. This video is going to encompass everything that I have going on in the background, some of the stuff we can't really talk about much yet, but I am excited to announce some of the stuff that we are doing on BigfryTV. Last year we did Game Jam 1, which was an overwhelming success, and I wanted to do it again. Only this time we had companies reach out. Specifically, we've partnered with GameEye. Now, GameEye is a company that offers easy worldwide game session hosting, and they allow you to deploy and manage your multiplayer games on bare metal and cloud servers via their provider agnostic infrastructure. And these guys are supporting big titles like Chivalry 2, Warhammer, Ascendant Rising, and more. These guys reached out to me after we did our first game jam. They loved what we were doing and they wanted to help. So with them, we have brought in an astronomical amount of companies and speakers, and we're doing what we call the Game Jam Summit 2022. And what that is starting on May 23rd, we are going to be hosting a week-long game jam. But on top of that, we are bringing in industry experts, engineers, investors, other game developers to have events every single day that you guys can join in the official Game Jam Summit Discord. You guys can jump into a Q&A session and actually talk to some of these people directly as an aspiring developer trying to figure out how you can get investment for your project. Once it gets to that level, you can speak to people like Lakestar and like Angel Group, and you can ask your questions that you've been dying to know about what happens when you get into a room with an investor and you need to know what they look for in projects that they're looking to fund. You can talk to developers from Tripwire and Mountaintop Studios. You can ask them about what it's like to build out your multiplayer games and some of the challenges that you might run into. And you have access to those people. You can ask the questions directly in a panel that we're putting on in this Discord. You can jump into our Finding the Right Tools workshop, where you can speak to the founder and CTO of Photon Engine, or you can speak to the CEO of G-Develop. Both different styles of game engines that allow you to create games, and you have direct access to speaking to these people during this event. You can talk to guys from Loot Locker or Zebedee about keeping the game alive with live ops. We've also brought in the creative director from Jaeger. So if you guys want to know how to keep players engaged post-launch with things like live ops, you now can ask the questions directly. And we feel like this is bringing so much more value than me just throwing a prize pool out there and giving money to developers. You guys now have the resources at your disposal, at your fingertips, all that week. I urge you guys to jump in, get connected, go to my website, BigFry.tv. There's going to be a link at the top to the Game Jam. You can go right there. I'll also have it linked down below. Sign up. If you're a developer, please join the Game Jam, create something cool. There is a prize pool. I am throwing my own money out there again, but I wanted to bring much more value. My partners at GameEye, they came through and they were like, hey, we see something much bigger for what you guys are doing. We've had plenty of conversations and meetings and emails over the last 6 months, and we're finally able to announce it officially, the Game Jam Summit 2022. It begins May 23rd and ends May 27th. So please, if you're a developer, sign up, join up. And even if you're not a developer, or if you don't want to join the Game Jam, get into that Discord. There is plenty of events that are going to be happening that week that can provide so much value to any game dev within my community and beyond. If you guys can, share this video. If you have a friend who is a game dev who might not watch the channel, let them know that this is going on. It's a great opportunity to not only win a little bit of money if you do good enough, but there's, again, just so much value packed into that week. This is something that I've been working on for 6 months now, and I can finally show it off to you guys. So I'm very, very excited. And it's all because of you guys, man. Everybody who supports the channel. This kind of stuff is going to be happening more and more in the future. We can give back, use our position to reach more game devs and just do some really cool shit. And I really hope you guys are on board for more things like this in the future. Now, A lot of people have been wanting me to get into game development. For years, it's always been the, why don't you make your own game? If you criticize it, why don't you jump in? So I'll say this, we're in the early stages of crafting out a prototype FPS that is, at this point, nothing more than a really solid FPS controller with some procedural generated layouts and a kill house, some AI that we're currently working on. We got some voice lines done, and we're just kind of building out some systems to see if it's something that we could take and turn into a real game in the future. Right now, my team consists of myself, Flow Beatbox, Frosty, who you guys know from the Earthland Hangar module stuff that we did last month, as well as Frinky, who you guys know from our first game jam. He was the winner. He actually made Ground Unbound into a real game, put it on Steam, made a couple $1,000s in sales from that game jam alone. He built that in a week, and I saw the talent that the kid had, and it's something that we're currently working on. This might not turn into anything. Right now, my focus is getting through this game jam because there's a lot of prep, there's a lot of moving parts with a lot of different companies emailing back and forth. It's been a lot. I want to get through this game jam and have that off of my plate so then I can look at this prototype that these guys are putting together, and we can look at taking it and turning it into a full-fledged product to get into game development. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I am a huge fan of third-person shooters. My dream project is to build out and revitalize SOCOM. And I think that it's very, very doable with the team that we have, the people in the community, and I think that's something that we can work towards. That being said, when I do go and want to make that project, I want to throw everything at it. I want to reach out to a publisher, get a prototype built, a vertical slice, get, you know, maybe a Team 17 on board. But in order to do that, we need to prove a lot of things out. And we've talked about this extensively behind closed doors. We want to build a game that is functioning from beginning to end, a fun gameplay loop, something that we can show not only publishers, but show my community that we have the talent and we have the ability to create a project that people want to play. We're making a tactical shooter right now. I'm just being honest. The prototype is in the works right now. It can look a million different ways from when we decide to eventually go in and do the GDD. But right now, my team, Frosty, Flow, and Frinky are building out this prototype FPS with procedural generated levels in this kill house style environment. It's a tactical FPS with a 90s aesthetic, and we feel like that is really where we kind of want to go for our first outing into a game development, you know, powerhouse that we want to be. We believe mixing that 90s aesthetic with a really smooth and really nice modern tactical shooter first-person controller with AI procedural generation being utilized within some of the levels. We see this as our first kind of showcase, and because that's what it's about, man. My dream is to revitalize the games of old and bring it to a modern standard. So when we're thinking about doing an FPS that we know our community would be into, why not do a 90s kind of old school aesthetic, but make it feel and play like a modern tactical shooter? And I gotta say, in the last 3 weeks, this prototype that Frinky, Flow, and Frosty are putting together has been incredible. I've been focusing on content creation and getting this game jam up and running and good to go. Once the game jam is done and over with, I'm going to be focusing a lot of my attention to this prototype build. We want to prove to publishers, we want to prove to the industry, and we want to prove to you guys that we can do something for a small budget with the right talent, with the right community. We can put something together that is not only playable and functional, but good. That is the goal. Not a lot of details yet. We literally haven't even sat down and designed the GDD yet. Right now, we're spending this time between now and the game jam ending to build out this prototype and see where we can take it. Can we build a functioning solid FPS within, you know, a month and a half? And then go and build from it from there? We absolutely can. I've been able to jump in with source control and play around in it and see what these guys have been building in the background. And wow, man, the talent that we have just in those 3 guys is fucking incredible. And I'm excited to showcase more. Again, very, very early stages, but this is like the first announcement We're not making a metaverse. We're making games that we actually give a shit about, and we want to bring back that old school gameplay, that old school feel, but with a modern engine, with a modern take, with a modern feel, so that we have the features like, you know, inspecting and the right animations and the proning and everything else. So it doesn't feel like a game from 2005. It might look like a game from 1999, but with a really modern feel to it. And I think for our first game going out to prove to everybody that we can make something, I think it's going to be pretty cool. Again, very early stages. I don't want to say more, but just know there is some game development stuff happening in the background of this channel, on top of the content creation and the streaming that we're doing on YouTube, on top of the fact that I got a merch store running right now, which is basically just in collaboration with everything that we're doing, man. I'm taking profits from the merch store, putting more merch out there. People are starting to rock it. People are getting the desk mats, and it's fucking amazing, everything that we have going on. There's a lot on the plate. I'm just being honest. Look at me, okay? I can eat it. There's a lot. So just know that even on the days where I'm not uploading or I might miss a stream, and there's been a lot of those lately, there's a lot of shit cooking in the background. I appreciate your guys' patience. And for all game devs in my community and beyond, go to the website, click the link down below, get yourself signed up. My name is Big Fry. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting everything that I'm doing over here. I'll see you on the next one.